Everybody, get your plastic gloves ready, get your face masks ready, get your 2-meter pointers, the big arrows, get them on the floor again, because we might just be getting ready for another pandemic. Hit the title.
We are the generation of tomorrow.
You see, I was looking on the news things like I do, because I'm a well-informed person, as you all know, and I saw that Mpox, which is what we're now calling monkeypox apparently, it's gotten its own new fancy name, which makes it seem even scarier to me. Mpox Clade 1b. The original monkeypox that we know of was Mpox Clade 1. There was another variant back 2 years ago that was around in other places as well. It was around in Sweden. They had 300 cases. But of course it has now hit Sweden again, this new one, which is class 1b. And they contained it very quickly apparently, and he's already, in quarantine, getting whatever he needs because the vaccine is available. It's not like COVID, we don't have to create a whole new vaccine for this one. So it's okay, but they've already said we haven't got enough to cover the people in Africa. So if it goes everywhere else, that could be an issue, because it's already a lot more transmissible than they thought apparently. So hopefully, that won't happen. But first of all, I have a globe. I know for a fact Sweden is very far away from Africa, nowhere near the Congo. I know that to be true. So the fact that it's got there, it went a long way. I hope it went on a plane. I hope the person didn't walk. It would have screwed a lot more places if they did. So assuming they got a plane and didn't walk, then that's a bit better. But there's still plenty of people on that plane he could have infected. That's the confirmed one, the first confirmed one. They don't know that's the only one. They said that as far as they know it hasn't spread from that person. But that's the only person. Could be anyone else going to any other countries as well from the same place. So I think there's a chance we could see this popping off everywhere. And you could see a lot of people with what look like water all over their face and everywhere else. But we have viruses, it's not the end of the world. We might be walking around thinking there's multiple people that are turning into pinheads slowly.
Don't make us put some pain on you.
Pain? How dare you use that word?
He's got pins in his head.
What you think of as pain is only a shadow. Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you.
I assume Pinhead, when he was first born and the pins were first coming through, that they pushed a little bit, so they almost looked like little spots, like little warts almost. And eventually, obviously, the pins would come through, but until then, because he's got really hard skin, Pinhead is known for having really hard skin. I imagine, he might not, it might have looked like that when he was younger. Luckily, they're not symbiotes, but if it does travel, we might be a bit buggered. Well, not buggered, it'd be a bit of an annoyance. I'm sure if we run out of vaccines, if there's not enough viruses and all the countries need them, some rich people will make a load, some countries will make a lot of money. My country, we're not rich, it's England, we're not rich, but we like to put ourselves in debt apparently over and over and over, so we'll do that. And everyone keeps giving us the debt, because we'll do stuff for them and help them again. I don't know, everyone just keeps thinking to be given. Hold on, this is about to turn into a moan about the global economy then. I'm not going to do that. So the person became infected during a stay in an area of Africa where there is currently a major outbreak of Mpox Clade 1. The news comes just after the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of Mpox in parts of Africa was now a public health emergency of international concern. At least 450 people died during an initial outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the disease has spread to areas of Central and East Africa. According to Olivia Wigzell, the acting head of the Swedish Public Health Agency, the infected person had sought care in Stockholm area and they're receiving treatment in Sweden. There was not a risk to the broader population from that affected person. They have been infected during a stay in Africa where there was a large outbreak of Mpox Clade 1. Mpox was previously known as monkeypox and is transmitted through close contact, such as sex, sexy time, skin-to-skin contact, high five me buddy, and talking or breathing close to another person.
Hey, I like the way you smell.
They're not okay. It causes flu-like symptoms, skin lesions, and can be fatal, with 4 in 100 cases leading to death. It is most common in the tropical rainforests of West and Central Africa, and there are thousands of infections every year. And of course, obviously, in a lot of places in Africa, they won't have the money, or whoever's in charge won't want to pay out all the vaccines for everyone. There are currently a number of outbreaks of Mpox that are taking place simultaneously, and they are partly fueled by newer and more serious type of Clade 1b identified in September last year. There are two types of Clade 1, and the Swedish case has been identified as Clade 1b. Since Mpox Clade 1b was first witnessed in Congo, there have been confirmed cases in Burundi, Kenya, Rwanda, and before that new case was identified in Sweden. While Clade 2 did cause a public health emergency in 2002, it was relatively mild and some 300 cases have already been identified in Sweden. WHO and Europe said it was actively engaging with Sweden's health authorities on how best to maintain and manage the first confirmed case of Mpox Clade 1b. It urged other countries to act quickly and transparently like Sweden, as there were likely to be further imported cases of Clade 1 in the European region over the coming days and weeks. So they want to make sure the countries aren't trying to cover it up, or don't want to report it, of course, because of scaring the population into thinking of another pandemic. Don't need to worry too much about that from the Sainsbury, just let the people know, and we won't have to worry about that is the case, sorry, is what I meant to say. People will worry. I'm not helping by making this video, none of us will be helping by talking about it, but I think it's good to be aware of the things that are going on, but know that we've got ways of sorting this. The Swedish Public Health Agency said that the more dangerous outbreak was likely to be linked to a higher rise of a more severe course of disease and higher mortality. Dr. Jonas Albarenas, who specialises in pox viruses at Pitt-Bright Institute, said the first case outside of Africa was concerning as it meant the spread, quote, might be larger than we knew yesterday, unquote. The World Health Organization hopes its latest declaration that Mpox is a public health emergency of international concern will trigger greater support to the areas most affected. Vaccines are available for those at greatest risk or who have been in close contact, but many experts worried there are not enough jabs or funding to get them to the people who need them the most. The mortality rate from the Clade 1b variant in Sweden will not be as high as those seen in Africa because of the high quality of healthcare in Europe. However, they said there would be more likely other cases of it. Symptoms usually appeared 6 to 13 days after infection through fevers and headaches, rashes or sores and muscle ache. Most people experienced mild to moderate symptoms followed by a full recovery, but immunocompromised individuals were at greater risk, of course. The same thing we learned in COVID. It was immunocompromised and older people that were greatly at risk. While news of the first case outside Africa may cause alarm, it was to be expected. Other disease outbreaks have shown swift international action can help stop the disease quickly. Just like we said, Sweden 2 years ago there was 200 cases of this. So it happens, we'll stamp it out. No bother, even if it does happen, we've got the stuff for it, we can do it. People might just look a bit strange for a while. If you're from Birmingham like me, you are very used to seeing strange people everywhere. With that being said, let's go back to your regularly scheduled YouTube programming now, or Rumble programming, because Rumble doesn't make sure I don't say bad words, and I love Rumble for that, and you should too. Come on over. I am KD, I am going to be gone. You can check out the next video or an upcoming podcast. Whatever you do, look after yourself. Please follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. More than anything though, look after yourself. Much love, people.